Good.
Vibe City.
Good morning, Vibe City. Yeah, you beat me. You fucking beat me to it.
You always say it first. I'm saying it first.
Yeah,
this time.
normally.
Good morning, Vibe City. Fucking Superman 1, Derek 0. Herb 0.
Oh, fuck. All right. So this episode, just disclaimer. Disclaimer. We are only going to be pretty much talking about one thing this podcast, and that
Talking
is
about The Mandalorian. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the second season of The Mandalorian, you can just go ahead and turn this the fuck off right about
Yeah,
now, because
I
we're going
highly-
to talk about like the whole time.
Yeah. So we're gonna just put that out there right now. You have been warned.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that it be.
If they feel bad, I'll just tell them that I'll leave with them.
And Taylor's here
Taylor's here again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be leaving when the Star Wars takes over the conversation.
Well, that's gonna be about like 10 seconds. So
Y'all fucking told me that you would talk about something else for like a little bit.
no, that we did not say that at all.
Jack said that?
No, I said.
Yeah,
I
we
said,
did not say
all
that
I
at
said.
all.
I said just stay. I just said just stay for the first couple minutes. I didn't say we were not going to talk about Star Wars. Because we're talking about Star Wars today. This is
yeah.
So I'm just gonna jump into this. So if you haven't seen the new season of The Mandalorian, so episode 1, we got something big at the end of that. Got a
Yes,
little,
we did.
Got a little bit of that Boba Fett action.
So now here, So spoilers for the rest of this.
I already said the spoiler warning. If they didn't fucking turn it off then suck my fucking dick.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get Boba Fett at the end of
Boba
it.
Fett. Yeah, Tamara Morrison is back. And,
Yeah.
is actually playing Boba Fett in live action for the first
I know,
time.
which is fucking awesome.
It's so awesome. I'm living for it, dude.
When I saw his face, I was like,
"Eh."
dude, because dude, that's just great. I was worried that they weren't gonna cast him for that.
Oh, dude, who else would they have fucking cast?
I don't know, but hey,
Yep, I don't know. But yeah, so that was big, and then
yeah, I will say this: the first 2 episodes were it wasn't like they weren't like plot heavy.
I think the first one was. I think the first one was very like it. I think it had that classical, Knight goes and slays the dragon storyline.
Yeah,
And,
but what I mean by plot heavy, I mean
it's not
the reason why he goes back to Tatooine is so that he can find other Mandalorians so that he can return the child to
the Jedi.
To the Jedi.
Yeah, and what he finds there is Cobb Vanth, who is the marshal of Mos Pelgo.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about Cobb is that he is wearing Boba Fett's old armor.
Yeah.
And, when you first see him, everybody's like, oh, is it Boba Fett? But, there's something about him. I think it's, the red sweater he's wearing under it. It's just that's not Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And it's he's wearing his armor, but that's not him. You kind of find out he's just, he bought the armor off of Jawas.
Jawas, yeah.
Yeah. And the whole episode is just, a very, Tatooine,
It all takes
story.
place on Tatooine.
Yeah, it's a Tatooine mythos story. You get, so I remember back in the first Star Wars movie, they talked in some of the they didn't say it directly, but in the commentary after that, the Obi-Wan, the way he scared off the Tusken Raiders that were attacking Luke was by using the call of the Krayt Dragon. And this is the first time in live action, or really in any of the animation, we've seen an actual Krayt Dragon.
Yeah.
And it was fucking sick.
It was sick.
Yeah, it was a badass. Motherfucker was swallowing Bantha's whole. I was like, bro,
Yeah, dude, it was so sick.
Yeah.
And it's basically it just it burrows itself into the sand, and then if it needs to eat something, it just comes up out of the sand and just swallows that shit whole.
Yeah.
And so Cobb Vanth and Din go team up with the Tusken Raiders and the other citizens of Mos Pelgo to kill the Krayt Dragon, and then at the end of the episode, of course, they do.
Yeah, and then you see Din, the Mandalorian, kind of driving away on the speeder bike, and then the music just cuts out. You see this bald man standing on this edge of this cliff. And he just turns around, and it's Boba Fett, and that's really the first reveal that he survived. I mean, people have always really known that he survived the encounter with what the fuck is it called?
With Sarlacc.
The Sarlacc, yeah, that's what it is. The Sarlacc when he got eaten by that, but everybody always kind of knew like he's gonna live past that.
Oh
But
yeah.
this is the first thing that really confirmed it, and so that was really cool. And I was watching that at like 3:00 in the morning, and I was like, ah! I literally I called you. I think you were already asleep, but I called you and I was like, wake the fuck up, like watch it now.
And then I watched it like the next morning.
Yeah.
And then
I remember you were at the end. You were just like I love because I always watch shit first, and then I just love watching your reaction because you're just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He
like
reacts.
he reacts.
reactor.
He is a reactor.
I'm
Yeah.
a reactor.
Aren't we all?
And he melts down too, like reactors sometimes.
Yeah. And then so
What? What did you just say?
Every once in a while, you just like the sirens go off and I go running.
In what context?
You just like explode at me and then I'm like, oh shit, he's mad.
Herb's just like.
Is that shocking to you?
I don't.
Okay. Well, what did I just get? Oh, just fucking group me.
So back to it.
Yeah.
Second episode, there's it's kind of like, so I think it starts out he's flying away. Well, he's not. That's not how it starts. He's still on Tatooine. He gets attacked by a bunch of these like raider dudes who try to like kidnap Baby Yoda or something, and he tries to like bribe one with his jetpack, and then he just yeets the dude into the air with the jetpack. It was really funny.
Yeah.
And then he makes it back to Mos Eisley and runs into Peli Motto again, who's the lady who plays Princess Carolyn in BoJack Horseman.
Dude,
which
I
is
can't. Like the
it's
entire
Princess
time
Carolyn.
as she's
Yeah,
talking,
I'm just like, why is Princess Carolyn in Star Wars, bro? Like,
and I couldn't.
I fucking love it. She's great.
I couldn't get I couldn't get
I don't know
the image
what's
out
her
of my face.
what's the actress's name? Because I feel
have
bad.
no
I
idea.
just keep calling her Princess
I
Carolyn.
think it's like.
You thought that was bad? What about Bill Burr?
I like Bill Burr's character.
He was good, but it was
Yeah.
just I feel like that's more jarring.
Oh, it's Amy Sedaris.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. And the entire time I'm just like Princess Carolyn talking to the Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's great. And so she starts out there, and then she says that like her homie, who's just like this big ant dude, was basically knows where some Mandalorians are, and she then basically the whole exchange is like this frog lady whose the name of the character is just frog
Lady, yeah.
Yeah, and that just she goes with Mando, and they don't use hyperspace, and then so she goes with him as kind of exchange for the information, because she says that her husband, who is on Trask, knows where some Mandalorians are. Yeah, and so they don't make it to Trask because he gets pulled over by two New Republic pilots, one of which is played by Dave Filoni, the legend himself. And they kind of just they kind of like pull him over. They start asking him all these like real like cop questions, and they're just like. Then eventually they figure out what the ship is, and they're just like, little reference to episode 6 of season 1. They're just like, were you at the New Republic transport that was like, had that prison break? And Mando's like, fuck, and just like
It just goes.
Yeah, and then so he ends up crashing back on the planet that I actually found out was the same planet that the show starts on in season 1.
Yeah.
And so he's stuck there with Frog Lady, and I thought her name is just Frog Lady, she's played by Dee Bradley Baker, who plays all the clones in the Clone Wars.
We love
and
Dee Bradley Baker.
And also God King Appa,
Yeah.
legend himself.
Momo.
And Momo. Yeah.
Momo.
So
all the sound effects in that show.
yeah, basically. I mean, he's voice acting legend. He's been in a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I mostly am just like he's the clones,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean him and Tamara Morrison. But yeah, in the show it was D. But anyway, so they crash on the planet because the New Republic pilots are chasing them, and they end up falling into this cavern, and so he's trying to fix the ship, and then they run into a bunch of spiders. Honestly, the second episode was not my favorite, but
It was just
it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
it
like,
wasn't-
all right, cool. But then eventually he repairs the ship enough for them to, as he says, limp to Trask.
Yeah.
And then that's when the third episode starts. And
fucking third episode.
so Herb just watched the third
I just
episode
watched it,
not like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't seen the third episode yet, also turn this the fuck off.
Yeah, why are you still here?
Yeah,
at that-
we
at
got
the-
we
at this
got
point?
another Clone Wars, well, a Clone Wars our first Clone Wars cameo actually. Bo-Katan, who was
Yeah.
member of the Death Watch and was the leader of Mandalore for a time, and vicious
And she's looking
adversary
for
to Darth
something.
Maul. She's looking for something.
And she's looking for something.
She's looking for the Darksaber.
that we now know belongs to Moff Gideon.
Yeah. So
from the season finale of the last.
Yeah. And basically throughout, at the third episode, she basically rescues Mando from a bunch of these like Quarren dudes who are trying to like drown him and take his Beskar. And they kind of explain the whole thing where like Mando has like why he doesn't take his helmet off, and the other Mandalorians we've seen throughout Star Wars do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's a member of a cult.
Yes, called Children of the Watch.
Children of the Watch, who were trying to basically, like the Children of the Watch wanted to reestablish the original ways of the Mandalore, which are very ancient.
Yeah.
And so and he finds out that like there are like regular Mandalorians who like take their helmets off and aren't like fucking weird like him, and he's just like, who the fuck are you guys? Why do you take your helmets off? That's not what Mandalorians do. And they're like, that's what like almost every Mandalorian does, except for like your small, very specific group. And he's just like, fuck you guys, and just like jetpacks away. And they catch up with them and they have a little drink, and then they fucking are like, yeah, we're trying to raid this Imperial cruiser so we can like get weapons and like take back the homeland, go on a little crusade here. He's just like, yeah, and he's just like, all right, I'll help you if you tell me where the Jedi are. And Bo-Katan's just like, I'll fucking tell you where the Jedi are, bitch. And so they do that. They take this ship and, where we see Moff Gideon again for the first time in season 2 through a hologram. And he's, kind of just like tells the commander of the ship once they've almost taken it, take the ship down.
Yeah.
And so they break into the cockpit. They threaten to kill the guy, but then he kills himself as, not to give them any information, because that's what he was literally going to do anyway.
Yeah.
And, and then so we get a big name drop.
Yes.
Bo-Katan tells Mando, go to Contraxia, which is, I feel like I've heard that name before. Like a planet called Contraxia in Star Wars. I feel like
Is it Contraxia or is it Corvus?
It might have been Corvus.
I think it's Corvus.
But still, I feel like I've heard that before. There's a type of ship called the Corvus. Well, the ship in one of the ships in Battlefront is called the Corvus.
Yeah, the Iden's ship.
Yeah, Iden's ship. Yeah. So she tells him, go to Corvus, and that is where you will find
Ahsoka Tano.
Queen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now me and Herb start talking after that episode ends, and we're talking about our various theories about how it's going to go going forward.
Yeah.
And we kind of start out like saying, okay, so Ahsoka is not a Jedi. So she's not going to like train Baby Yoda or the child or whatever the fuck you want to call him as a Jedi. So we think that she's going to send him Ezra's way.
Yes.
And
if anybody that needs an update, at the end of Star Wars Rebels in the finale, Ezra surprising Thrawn, and the only time in the series that the Rebels do it, he connects through the Force to attract the Purrgil which are like hyperspace whales to Lothal, and then they fuck up Thrawn's fleet, and then
Taylor's looking at me like so for some context, Taylor has only seen A New Hope and, as of last night, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, so she has no idea what we're talking
Hyperspace
about.
whales?
You'll see.
What the fuck, George Lucas?
It wasn't George.
It wasn't George
Lucas.
Lucas.
George Lucas didn't make it.
I swear, if you do not be bad mouth.
We will not insult Dave Filoni on this podcast ever at any point.
And I will not let that audio be heard by the audience. No way.
I'm not allowed to question things.
No, you're not.
No.
You're not. You are absolutely not allowed to question things.
Okay.
Dave Filoni is our god.
Yeah, like that man.
Man worked on Avatar.
Yeah, like
Step aside, Andrew Yang.
Yeah,
Step aside Andrew Yang. No. Andrew Yang's our god too. It's okay.
we're very polytheistic.
We're polytheistic.
Yeah, Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. He's another one of our gods.
He's one of the gods that has ascended.
We're doing the Wakanda, dude. R.I.P. Chadwick. That was like the saddest day of my life.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't, but it was up there.
It was up there.
Yeah.
But so then they launch into, and then Thrawn and Ezra launch in hyperspace. We don't know where they go.
Yeah, and then that's a big mystery.
And that's a big mystery.
We get left off with.
Yeah.
And then that sets up, like, everybody thought, so there's going to be a Rebel sequel. And at first you think it's Resistance, which is the show that starts right after. And Resistance, as I described to, like, Star Wars Resistance, as I described to Taylor last night, was kind of just painfully okay. It was brutally okay. I just watched through it. I'm just like, all right. Like,
Just like, okay.
it wasn't bad. It wasn't like, it wasn't awful.
Fantastic.
It wasn't, I was just kind of like, all right.
It's like, okay.
And here's the thing, I watch that show every week, hoping,
It's
and
I remember when everybody
it started flatline. It was flatlined at the beginning, and it just stayed there.
I remember some people talking about Ezra and Kylo in Resistance.
Yeah, and here's the thing, it's not to say that there weren't good episodes. There were. I don't remember them because the show wasn't that memorable, but it was fine. And
Do I have to watch it then?
no,
You really don't.
It's kind of not important, but
Not to the greater continuity.
no. I think if maybe they gave it another season, they could have done something, but they told them like it's two seasons.
2 seasons.
Yeah.
2 seasons. That's what you get.
Yeah.
So then, so we start talking about theories.
Yeah.
And so what we believe could happen is I talked about how I did not believe that Moff Gideon was gonna be the big. I don't think Moff Gideon is
that's what I was saying today. We think it's gonna be Thrawn.
Yeah, I don't think Moff Gideon's gonna be the main. I think he'll be the main villain to Din, but I don't think he's gonna be the main villain of this series.
Yeah.
Where I think that it's gonna open up to Grand Admiral Thrawn.
The goat.
The GOAT, yeah. One of the greatest villains in Star Wars.
Arguably.
Arguably.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, it's, because he's in canon, he's only really been in Rebels. But
yeah,
and those the new Thrawn books, but which I haven't read, but I should read those. But like it's just he's so calculating. He knows every move right before you make it. It's like there's not another villain like him.
No,
it's how I'm like, how do you write that? Like,
yeah, I have to give Dave Filoni that,
and
like,
the whole writing staff. I'm sure
on Star Wars Rebels, killed it with Thrawn. But then I was also thinking about, because there's a lot of questions that arise.
Well, let's talk about how we get there. Like, how do we think how do we think the season is going to go? And then how we get to, and then that we make our predictions for season 3, 4.
Okay, I'm about to make some bold fucking claims.
Okay. So how do you think the rest of this season is going to go? Season 2.
All right. So I believe that we're going to go meet up with Ahsoka, whether it's this next episode or if it's later. Mm-hmm. We're going to meet up with Ahsoka. However, I think that Ahsoka is going to be like, whoa, because this is now the only other species to our knowledge that is exactly like Yoda's species.
The only other member other than Yoda and Yaddle.
That they've seen, that has been seen.
Yeah.
I think Ahsoka's gonna be like, whoa, that's interesting.
Neat. Yeah.
But again, like but there's gonna be but she's no Jedi at this point.
Yeah. I am no Jedi.
He's
I don't know why I said that so villainously. Yeah.
She's no Jedi at this point. And I think then she's going to direct Din to Ezra.
Yeah.
And then along the way, Moff Gideon's gonna come back into the mix with.
I think that's how it ties in, because I
Yeah.
think, the last time we saw Ezra and Thrawn, they were together. And I think maybe, so in this past episode, there was talk of a whole Imperial, like, fleet that is supposedly commanded by Moff Gideon. But then, remember, last season, we thought that this guy who was on Navarro was, like, the boss of just, like, this local Imperial group.
Yeah.
But he was really working for
Moff Gideon.
For Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
And so with that, I'm just thinking, like, if Thrawn's still out there, who's to say that Moff Gideon's not under him?
Yeah.
And if that's because it seems the show seems to be going in this, like, this direction of, like, being the Rebels sequel. And initially that's something I didn't want, but now, like, after what we've talked about today and, like, what we're going to talk about here now, I think that's the direction. Like, I think it's a good direction, because
I think it is too.
So another question we were kind of talking about is, and we think the season is going to, like, kind of finish out with, maybe Ezra and the child and, something going down there. And maybe some, and I think the last scene is going to be
Moff
the
Gideon
Thrawn reveal.
I think the Thrawn, we think that it's going to conclude with the Thrawn reveal at the end. But I think that of what it's looking like right now, I think at the end of this season, we're going to either get, and I could see it going either way.
Yeah.
Either, I don't think we get Ezra this season.
You don't think we get Ezra?
No, I don't, because I don't think I think we're either gonna get Ahsoka, Moff Gideon in the finale, or we're going to get Bo-Katan, Moff Gideon in the finale, with Moff Gideon killing either one of those two.
You think Moff
Yes.
Gideon? Okay.
Yes, that's how I
claim.
Yeah, that's how I think this. That's how I think this ends, because
Interesting.
because the way that I see it is that I don't, like, right now I don't see.
Because I think that'll be what really, if that does happen, that'll really establish Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Because, like, like, Vader couldn't kill Ahsoka, or, like, I mean, if that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Like him like kill. I mean, I think it's more likely that
I think what's more likely is that we're gonna get Bo-Katan.
But Bo-Katan doesn't have lightsabers, and he has the dark saber currently.
Yeah, that's why I think that. That's why I think that it's her trying to get the dark saber back. Moff Gideon's gonna kill Bo-Katan.
Okay.
That's what. Okay, I would say actually I'm leaning toward now of what I know now with Bo-Katan being in the series. I think that's way more likely to happen than Ahsoka. Before Bo-Katan, I was saying Ahsoka, Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
But now of what we knew after this last episode, I'm going full in. Not going full in on it, but I think it's much more likely that we're gonna get Moff Gideon, Bo-Katan, and Moff Gideon will be killing Bo-Katan at the end of this season.
Yeah. And so also we were talking about, in a couple episodes ago in the podcast, we were talking about how we did not like The Rise of Skywalker very much.
And we still don't. However.
But I feel like this could potentially, The Mandalorian could potentially shape up to really fill in the plot holes there. And we were kind of like, had a little conspiracy theory going on in our minds that was like, what if it was written that way intentionally?
Yeah.
And, like, because, like, the whole time they said, like, JJ and Kathleen Kennedy all said that, like, we have a big plan. Like, we've always had a plan for this trilogy. And it doesn't kind of seem like they did, but at the same time, maybe this was part of that. And, like, maybe this Mandalorian show is going to fill that in a way that makes The Rise of Skywalker really good. If it, works out that way. I hope it does.
Yeah, because despite our other issues that we do have with The Rise of Skywalker, I think that the biggest issue is the whole question about the Emperor.
Yeah. And so our initial theory, and I don't know if we mentioned this in episode 2 or not.
I don't think we did. No.
But our theory was initially, in Rebels there was a World Between Worlds episode, which was basically like breaks time.
Yeah.
And we see Ezra go in there, and that's how we find out how Ahsoka lives, because he pulls her out of the moment, and
Yeah.
basically he's just in there like fucking up time. And so once he pulls out Ahsoka and like they're kind of trying to get out of there, they run into the Emperor, who is and initially we were thinking, we kind of just watched the episode and like, oh, he just like knew that they were in there somehow. But now we're thinking like the Emperor that was existing at the same time of them, like that version of him, is not the one that they met in the World Between Worlds, but maybe an Emperor from further away in time.
Yeah.
And who knew when this occurred and knew how to use his, Sith magic, whatever, to get inside. And so we see him like looking at trying to grab them, but maybe like, we see, and obviously Ezra and Ahsoka escape, but like, what if he was still in there afterwards? Because the world between, maybe that like the Lothal portal was destroyed, but that doesn't mean the World Between Worlds was destroyed.
No, because we also know that it was confirmed that there are different access points, because the Emperor we know there's different access points because the Emperor is able to see Ahsoka and Ezra in there.
Yeah.
And you can't do that unless you have at least an access point or a way of looking into the World Between Worlds. So what I suggested was the fact that, because in the Rise of Skywalker you have Exegol, and that's where Palpatine. That's just where Palpatine and the Sith fleet are.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, I was like, what if there's another access point? Like this whole question of why Exegol? Why not like Moraband?
Yeah.
Why not the Sith homeworld? Why specifically is Exegol important? Because in the Rise of Skywalker, they just say it's an ancient world of the Sith.
Yeah.
But what if Exegol is another access point to this World Between Worlds?
And that was our initial theory for the Rise of Skywalker. We thought that like Palpatine was gonna, that's how his survival would be explained.
Yeah.
Is that when he was falling down the chute in the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, he used that to kind of go in and grab himself out of that moment. And I think that would have made a lot of sense, but they didn't do that. And I was just kind of disappointed that they didn't explain why Palpatine is still alive in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and they didn't really give an explanation either. Mm-hmm. So it's like still up in the... There was the big issue that I had with that movie. It was like, okay, so you're just not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I know they mention... And I know they mention a line... Like, that one guy has the line, like... Dark side cloning, secrets only the Sith knew.
Yeah, and everybody's just like, roll their eyes at it because it's kind of, it's, as film goes, it's kind of a dumb line. It doesn't explain anything, and it's kind of just like a lazy half explanation for like what like the reason was that Palpatine was still alive, because everybody who watched Return of the Jedi, which is basically everybody ever, has like knows that Palpatine died, and when Vader threw him in there. And
you see, and then how this ties together is that when he goes down the chute, blue, like... blue, like, flames, fumes, or whatever, emerge as he falls down the chute. How, when you're in the World Between Worlds episode, the exact, very similar blue flames are exuded by the Emperor to try to get a hold of Ahsoka and Ezra in the World Between Worlds that we see in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. And then the whole Rise of Skywalker had this kind of like blue aura to it.
Yeah.
Especially around Palpatine, which I kind of thought was, like signaling, but turned out not to be, unless it was. That's kind of what we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Because I had this whole, because every issue that everybody had with the prequels were pretty much fixed, like not necessarily plot wise, but like any issues that arose with the prequels was fixed by Dave Filoni in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Who's to say that maybe The Mandalorian is not... And like right now, of what we know, it is looking like The Mandalorian's going to be the Rebels sequel.
It's looking like it. I mean,
or at
I think
least
as long
going
as
to have...
They have to keep it as...
It's going to
the
be... I think it's going to be
Mandalorian
still be... It's going to still be Din's story. But even like... But think about it, like even in Rebels, like The World Between Worlds wasn't the final... It was a Mythos episode.
Yeah.
And... Because you know because the story is really about Ezra freeing Lothal.
Yeah.
That's what the whole series is about. And then you get side mythos episodes that give greater context to like how the Force works.
Yeah, and world building. You know,
And world
shit like
building.
that. Yeah.
Now, this episode, however, the World Between Worlds episode is very like jarring because it provides a lot of context of one, what happened with Ahsoka at the end of with her fight with Vader.
Yeah.
That's explained. And then also talking about Ahsoka when Ezra wants to reach and get Kanan to save Kanan's life. Ahsoka tells him
no, because then you'll be dead.
Yeah.
Because like he died so you could live, and if you pull him out of that moment, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because the power that this place has in the Star Wars mythos is like, it's everything.
Yeah, I mean it literally, and I was talking earlier because like, so what if like the fact that Ezra went in there in general and started even just messed with one or two things, and that maybe that gave Palpatine access, and what if that? So we know Anakin is supposed to be the chosen one, right?
Yeah.
But like this World Between World things is like a fucking cheat code. It's a total hack in the Star Wars universe. What if like he went in there and like broke time and somehow made it that so when like Anakin was supposed to kill Palpatine and end it there, but didn't because of this, because he fucked up the code. You know what I mean? And that's not making a ton of sense, but I'm kind of trying to like figure out how to word this. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like a hair that was painted into the wall.
What?
It was like under the paint.
That's odd.
What the fuck?
That's some ghetto college apartment shit.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh man. But anyway, so it's kind of like, so then we think like, oh well, maybe Rey is the answer to that. Maybe Rey is then the chosen one, because like maybe Palpatine, as a result of like being saved by himself or whoever saved him, gets to put all these contingencies into place because he realizes that he fucked up with Vader, and he underestimated the relationship that Vader would have with his son, and then he kind of gets to rethink all of that, and he gets to kind of go back to the drawing board. Maybe he has other contingencies, we don't know. And you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Like, so we don't even know. Maybe like Rey killing him in Rise of Skywalker, maybe that's not even it for Palpatine.
Hey, there's I think this like, I think the World Between Worlds was a very I think it's the one thing in Star Wars that has now like blown all this shit up, where
so like we don't even know, like Palpatine could have even gone back, like, so if he gets full access to that, he controls the universe.
Yeah.
He controls everything. So you don't know what he planted where and when and what version of him was doing it.
Yeah.
So there could be like, because the idea of it breaks time completely, and it's just kind of like, so the fact that he has that kind of access, even just at one point, and we don't know how he got in there or if he got in there, but if he did, he literally could control everything.
Yeah.
It's like people talk about, oh, the Force is the ultimate power in the universe. No, that's the Death Star. Like in New Hope, they were like, Vader's like, oh, the Force is more powerful than the Death Star. The Death Star is, and then the commanders are like, the Death Star is gonna give us control again. This is like, this dwarfs all of that.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, you literally have control over time itself.
Yeah.
And so he could have contingency set up further back in time.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like, so it's crazy to think about, because, and I think that's what that's where the Mandalorian ties in. I think that's what it's going to go into.
Yeah.
Maybe Baby Yoda is some kind of contingency. Maybe this whole, because, you know, and the reason I think that is because you remember in season 1, there was the guy who hires Mando to find Baby Yoda is like his assistant, like that doctor guy, I forget his name, that was working with him, had a Kaminoan cloner symbol on his jacket. So it's literally just fucking cloning and secrets only the Sith knew, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it's gonna really
Yeah, I think that like Mandalorian is going to pick up and go into like, and I'm just like going off of that, just the Mandalorian is going to fix, I think the Mandalorian is going to fix all of the Palpatine issues that we had with episode 9.
Yeah.
I think it's going to fix it.
I agree. And if like,
because now we're starting to see things. Now we don't know for sure if we're gonna get Thrawn, but I really do. I think this whole mentioning of a fucking fleet and shit. Like,
yeah. And like, I would love Moff Gideon to just be his own character, and I would love it to just be its own self-contained, like not self-contained, but like its own story in Star Wars, because it's such a big universe. And I feel like a lot of the problems people are having is we keep going back to these same characters. Keep going back, and it keeps just ending up within the Skywalker saga, and it can't. It's like, it's trying to be like Marvel in the sense that it can just you know, we can have a whole story that doesn't tie in.
Yeah.
And I really want it to be able to do that, but at the same time, I can't help but want like the whole Rebels sequel thing that looks like it's gonna be happening,
because like all the characters. Like,
but I think also they're doing a good job so far in keeping it as
Din's story. Yeah,
and I think that it has to stay that way. Because
I think
it's the Mandalorian.
I think
it's about him.
I think though, the Mandalorian. I think Din is gonna be a much bigger part in all of this than we originally thought. I think he's going to be like much more, I think he's going to be a very pivotal part in like in the overarching like story. And I think that's where they're going to go with it.
I hope so, man.
I hope so.
It's shaping up to be so fucking cool. Like, it's already so fucking cool. Even if they don't do all that, even if they don't do all this shit with like tying it into Rebels, tying it in, like, it's still such a cool fucking show.
It is.
Like,
it is.
Whatever it is, I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I trust in Dave Filoni.
I trust in Dave, bro.
I trust
in Dave. We trust.
In Dave, we trust.
Yeah, Jon Favreau too. He's killing it. You know, like,
this
is Jon Favreau's show.
Yeah, this is.
We give Dave Filoni all this credit, but like, it is Jon Favreau's show.
Elf?
Did he make Elf? Jon Favreau?
I don't think so.
Is he like the guy with black hair? He's kind of like a big guy.
Yeah.
He was the doctor in Elf.
Was he? Hold on.
Yeah, remember when he like takes?
I don't remember Elf.
And then fucking what's his face is like, my finger has a heartbeat. And then he tells their dad. He tells.
Jon Favreau.
Was Jon Favreau an Elf?
Let me see.
I don't remember Jon Favreau an Elf.
Yeah, he was an Elf. He was Dr. Leonardo. Yeah, that is him.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Savant memory.
Yeah. Shit, dude.
It's an interesting thing.
He also, I mean, you know, he did. Well, did he direct The Lion King, or was he just in The Lion King?
Jon Favreau?
I mean, it says he's in the new Lion King, like 2019.
Oh, he might have been. I don't know. I didn't see it.
He directed Iron Man. Everybody knows that. He directed Chef, Iron Man 2.
He was like.
Did Jon Favreau direct Elf?
Let me look at what his direct. I'll just go on IMDb just to look at his directing credits. He did direct The Lion King. Directed The Jungle Book too.
Oh shit!
Damn.
He did Cowboys and Aliens? I didn't know that was him.
Shit.
He directed Elf.
What?
Ra-pa-pa-pa!
Yeah. Shit, dude.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Cool.
Good for you, Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau's a killer, dude. I love
Yeah.
that guy.
But yeah, like this is Jon Favreau's show.
Yeah.
But I think that
Dave Filoni is a big.
Dave Filoni's a very big part of this too.
Yeah, he's a big voice in the show because like he knows canon. He knows what George would want, and I think that's kind of the most important thing is keeping the universe intact. And
Yeah.
making sure it's all within kind of the guidelines that the universe allows.
Yeah.
And I think Dave is like the foremost expert on that.
Yes, absolutely.
Dave and Pablo Hidalgo. I don't know how if he's involved in it at all.
I'm not sure if he is.
Yeah, I haven't really.
I don't know if he's still with the Lucasfilm team.
I think probably right.
I'd hope
He
so.
Always has been. So.
But yeah, I think that I think Mando's right now shaping up to be this killer. I think Mando's going to be way more important than we originally thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, that would warrant a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like this is like, this is like maybe this could be like one of the most important elements of the new new trilogy. Like this could be this could be the most important part of the story, other than the sequel the sequel trilogy itself for what Disney Star Wars has done.
Yeah. But the one thing I think is like Rebels wasn't really because like Clone Wars was kind of like it was its own thing, but it was also like it was a bit of a patch for the prequels.
Yeah.
Rebels wasn't really a fix for anything. It wasn't a patch for anything. It was just it. And that's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
It just got to be its own thing. And yeah, we saw like characters that we knew, but it was always Ezra's story, and it was the Ghost Crew's story. That's what ultimately,
and that's what I think I think that's what they're gonna keep doing with Mando.
Yeah, it's his story, and that's
it's gonna be Din's story,
because
but we're
that's
gonna
what makes it interesting. If it just keeps being sequels of like characters we already know, like as much as I want their stories to be included, I think it ultimately is still the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
What I don't know is if Baby Yoda is going to be with him throughout the whole duration of the show.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I do not think so.
So what happens after Baby Yoda, if there is an after Baby Yoda for him?
Revenge.
Revenge on what?
Moff Gideon.
Yeah, it could be.
I think that because the thing is, I think Baby Yoda. I think Baby Yoda dies in the series.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Why do you think
Disney would do that to me?
Dude,
Yes.
they are not gonna kill Baby Yoda.
I think so.
They are not, dude. Here's the thing. There are some writers for Star Wars that have a lot of balls, but they do not have the balls to kill Baby Yoda, bro. It's not gonna happen.
Bro.
Okay. Let me hear you out.
Okay.
What are
Hear
you trying
me
to say?
out.
Yeah.
So, the reason why I believe this is because there is no mention of Baby Yoda in anything like post this. Now, I know that's mainly due to the fact that like this was like made the sequel trilogy had already been made before Mando was made.
Yeah.
So, but what I think is that you can't have. I don't know how much sense now whether Baby Yoda either dies or Baby Yoda just goes and fucks off somewhere, like with Din. I don't know, but I don't think that.
The thing is, they said the same thing about Ahsoka, though. Everyone said Ahsoka has to die in the Clone Wars because she's not in Revenge of the Sith or any of the other movies. But she did.
That's true.
Like,
but I still don't think Baby Yoda makes it out of this, because I think Baby Yoda is gonna. I think that's gonna be a very pivotal.
I think if anything, he goes to.
I think it's gonna be a very pivotal part in like the Emperor's contingency plan.
One thing I think about Baby Yoda, I don't think Baby Yoda's gonna die. But I also don't think that Baby Yoda is going to end up at Luke's Jedi Temple.
No, I don't think so either.
I think they might have some association, but I don't think Ezra's there either. I think this is like a whole different like.
I think Ezra dies in this series too.
Man, you think everybody's gonna fucking die? Everybody's going. I think. I think
because
we could
like
definitely get.
I think because like.
What the fuck is this?
Because unless the ghost is there, like the ghost is there at the Battle of Exgol, but
you know, I mean, I that could just be Hera, or it doesn't even have to be Hera. Really,
it could be Jason.
Oh yeah, Jason. I always forget about him.
Yeah, Jason Syndulla.
Jason Syndulla. Yeah.
I think that like whether I don't think Baby Yoda ends up at Luke's academy.
No.
I don't think so.
Because then it would just be a little this whole story would be anticlimactic, because it would just be, okay, well then they have to die because of Kylo and his boys kind of killing everybody and doing like Order 66 round 2 electric boogaloo.
Order 66 round 2 electric boogaloo. Oh my god. Oh man. But yeah, I think that I think like the easy, like, I don't know. I think that you know how, hey, we've seen it in these shows before, like in Rebels, they did it to Kanan.
Yeah, but the way they did it to Kanan, like, it worked. But
And
Star Wars is not a series to kill people off in excess. It's not Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't just, like, you know, it's not just one day, like, somebody's gonna, like, because we always expect so many people to, like, end up dead, but it's always just, like, one or two, you know, in every, like, climactic moment. But, like...
I think definites that we get is Ahsoka.
You think Ahsoka will die?
Yes, because Ahsoka speaks to Rey in episode 9.
That's true. But I said the same thing in Rebels. I remember, again, when Ahsoka was going to fight Vader, I was like, this is the end of Ahsoka.
And then it wasn't. Ahsoka just seems
to... Dave Filoni, like, does not want... Dave Filoni's like, Ahsoka Tano will live forever. Gang, fuck you. Like...
But yeah, like, but I think because Ahsoka speaks to Rey in episode 9, and every single other Jedi that speaks to her is dead.
Yeah.
Why would Ahsoka just not be dead?
Yeah.
That's why I
think I saw something that, like, Dave said, like, oh, it doesn't mean she's dead. It's like, okay, then where the fuck is she at, Dave? Like, bro, like, Ahsoka, like, if she's not there, then she's dead.
Like, yeah, because why is just Ahsoka
like, bro, Emperor Palpatine's back. He's like threatening to destroy the entire universe. And if Ahsoka's still alive, then where the fuck's she at, bro? Yeah. Like, dude, Rey and Ben, they you know, they had it handled, like, on pure luck. Like, that was, like they could have very much used someone with a little more experience to assist them. Like, Ahsoka would have been that motherfucking person. Yeah. And, you know, she's like, you know, she's got to be dead.
Yeah, so, that's why I think Moff Gideon does it.
Really? We were talking a while ago. We think Moff Gideon might be Force sensitive.
I think Moff Gideon's Force sensitive.
Yeah. Why wasn't he an Inquisitor then? Or maybe he was.
He could have. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so because, like, I think that do you know what I'm interested to find out? Is how did he get the fucking Darksaber?
I am very interested in finding that out.
How did he do that?
Yeah, because, like, taking that shit from Bo-Katan, like, Bo-Katan is a pretty powerful motherfucking warrior, so how the fuck he's got to be a bad motherfucker if he's just gonna come in and take a fucking lightsaber from her. From
not just but the ancestral lightsaber of the Mandalorians from a Mandalorian.
From the, like, queen of the Mandalorians.
Yeah. And then just some dude? Yeah. No, I think he's Force sensitive.
Kind of has to be, doesn't he?
I would assume.
He doesn't have to be, but
I would hope so. And that's the same thing. I don't think Moff Gideon kills Ahsoka without him at least being Force sensitive.
True.
And I think it's going to be one of those moments that it's just like a surprise.
Could be.
It's just like, you know, Ahsoka's about to beat him, and then he just
Bow.
uses the Force, and then she's just fucked.
Man, that would suck.
I know.
I'd cry like a motherfucker if Ahsoka died, dude. She's like my favorite character.
I know, same. Yeah. And like, dude, that's gonna be like, if it does happen, it has to happen because she spoke to Rey. Yeah. So,
and at this point, we still haven't even seen her in live action yet, and that literally could be a week from now. Our first Ahsoka Tano's first appearance in live action in Star Wars could literally be a week from now.
I'm really excited to see how she looks.
I mean, it's Rosario.
It's Rosario Dawson, but like, I'm really interested to see like.
Oh shit, she's hot.
She's also dating Cory Booker.
Yeah, she is dating Cory Booker.
Dude, Ahsoka Tano is dating Senator Cory Booker.
I don't know who that is, but she was really good in Percy Jackson.
Was she in Percy Jackson?
I've
she
never
was Persephone.
I've never seen.
Was she?
Persephone.
I've never seen Percy
I don't
Jackson.
Also,
remember.
you get better at your kid shows.
Dude, I don't remember.
I could be the only MVP.
I don't know.
I don't remember the movies. I read the books like 100 times, but
I'll pull her up.
okay. But yeah, dude, Rosario Dawson and Cory Booker, you know, that's a thing.
That's the thing. Hey,
But can you imagine if Cory Booker ended up being president and like Ahsoka Tano is the fucking first lady of the United States? Bruh, that would be like, that would take Strange Times to a whole new fucking level. Like, bro, the first lady is in The Mandalorian playing Ahsoka Tano. That would be wild.
that would be wild.
Yeah.
But I really think I'm so excited. I'm so excited for like what yeah, like I'm really excited for like where's
Shit.
I'm really
She's showing us the picture of Rosario Dawson playing Persephone in Percy Jackson.
yeah, like I'm really excited to see what they do with her, cuz I
have no idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to be, I think whatever they do decide, like, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking amazing.
True.
And I'm so fucking excited. I'm so fucking excited, dude.
Yeah.
I need the rest of the season now.
Oh, dude, I know.
I hate waiting a week.
Do you remember we thought it was all just going to drop at once?
Yeah, when it first came out last year. Yeah.
I think plot wise though, like just like for like build, excuse me, it's smart that they're doing it weekly.
I think
like,
so too.
It makes like people's intrigue build up for it.
Yeah,
and people want to just watch it more all at once, and it also like it makes it part of like, you know, like the cultural conversation for longer, because everybody's just like, you know, rather than just binging the whole season in one night, like, which is what we would have done.
Yeah, we definitely would have done
I would
that.
have, like, literally not, like, fuck class, dude. Like, I'm watching The Mandalorian straight.
Dude, remember when we skipped? We, like, skipped all of those classes to watch the
Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Yeah.
And then we just hear...
Yeah, and we, like, lost our shit.
Dude,
yeah.
because at first I thought it was,
Palpatine?
Yeah.
What?
Palpatine?
Yeah.
We heard the Palpatine laugh at the end, and we
looked at
literally
each other.
we geeked like hardcore. We we just fucked off for like the rest of the day, and we were just talking about like all the various like what it could be.
Possibilities.
Yeah, although
Yeah, that dude,
and then they disappointed us.
But I think
maybe the Mandalorian will save it.
I think the Mandalorian will save it.
Yeah.
I'm very I think the Mandalorian's gonna be I think it's gonna be the key to all of this.
Yeah.
Because Kathleen Kennedy said that, you know what? Even though they should have tied it all together in 9, she also said that we want to leave 9 open so that other stories can be told after.
Yeah.
But maybe instead, but who knows? Maybe after means just in our time.
Yeah.
Rather than it meaning after episode 9. Mm-hmm. So I think that I think it's gonna be great, and I'm very excited for where Mando's going.
I am also very excited.
And then hopefully we get Kenobi next year.
Oh, dude, I've been waiting for that. We've been waiting for that for years.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for years. and I'm very interested to see where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Because like it's just gonna be like, because it takes place while he's like on Tatooine, like looking from a distance after Luke.
Yeah.
Like what plot point, like what story are they gonna tell with that?
We get that little tease with Yoda at the end of Revenge of the Sith, telling him that, in your exile training I have for you, and he's like he's telling him that like he's gonna go and have to communicate with Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna guess that where we meet Obi-Wan in the new series is gonna be him having never talked to Qui-Gon, and it's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Where you at, bro?" And I think he's gonna have to like he's like gonna have to do some like real spiritual digging, and I think it's gonna be a very spiritual show.
Yeah, I think so.
That would be my guess. And yeah, I think he's gonna do a lot of, because I've heard that they've even cast Hayden Christensen. Like there are rumors, it's nothing concrete, but that Hayden Christensen's been cast in it. So I think he's gonna.
I think there's gonna be flashbacks.
I think it's gonna be a lot of reflecting for him and be like, okay, what just happened?
So here's a thought.
Yeah.
Villain
Villain
for the show. I think though, it's going to be. I think if there's a villain, it's going to be one Asheron Het, who is
the Tusken.
The Tusken Jedi, the Tusken fallen Jedi.
You think so?
Yeah, because they talk about it in the comics a little bit. And he fights Obi-Wan.
Yeah, in Legends.
In Legends, yeah, in the Legends comics, yeah.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan fights this Tusken fallen Jedi, and I think that's in the same series that had the Obi-Wan Maul fight that ended with Owen Lars like sniping Maul.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad that Maul went out in Rebels the way that he did.
Oh yeah. I mean, did you hear the news this week about George? I think I was telling you about this earlier. George Lucas's initial sequel trilogy would have featured Maul as the main villain.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I think that's it's in a weird way that's so perfect. Like, because he's like that one piece of the puzzle that was never really quite vanquished. I mean, in George Lucas's Star Wars, so anything before Disney. So if you just take the episodes and then the Clone Wars, then Maul is kind of just like this like forgotten character.
Yeah.
And then he's maybe just like somewhere vanished for years, and then he pops back up and kind of takes power during maybe the New Republic is weak or something. Like, that would have been so cool. I would have liked that.
Yeah, I would have liked that too.
I mean, there have been a lot of different like rumors about what George Lucas's sequel trilogy would have been, and we'll never really know.
Well, they had they confirmed that Luke Skywalker would have died at the end of Episode 8.
Yeah,
that was always gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, which I'm cool with. I'm cool with that.
Can you imagine though seeing Luke Skywalker fight Maul?
Maul would have been old as fuck.
Yeah, but like it's Maul.
Yeah, I know, but like old as fuck Maul against Luke Skywalker in his prime.
That wasn't Luke in his prime. That was Luke. I mean, maybe it was his prime. I guess.
Yeah, because they said that like it wasn't gonna his original like post episode, like his original sequel trilogy was like not gonna take place like that far out from Episode 6.
Yeah.
But
did you tell her about my like kind of connection to George Lucas?
No, what was it again?
Hypnotist. So.
Oh. Your hypnotist like knows George Lucas or something.
She worked very closely with him for a bunch of years.
Really?
Yeah, and she's funny. She like almost solved my problems, and then I like talked to my mom, and my mom like kind of made me doubt her. But she is like, she's really good. She knows what she's about, and like I actually wanted to call her and be like, hey, like, you gave me the answers, 2 years ago, and now I finally see that, and I wanted to thank her because she's she's really incredible. She's in Doylestown.
She's in Doylestown,
Yeah.
and she knows George Lucas.
She worked with him, yeah.
I'm going
Worked
fucking door to
with
door.
George Lucas.
I'm going fucking door to door. Look, and be like, hey, you know George Lucas?
You
No?
know George Lucas?
You know George Lucas? And then the first person who says yes, I'm like, introduce me.
Introduce me to George Lucas.
Let
Man.
me meet like God.
He's going on the God wall too.
Dude, I mean, of course.
Yeah, so we have this. So in Vibe City, we got a
We
have
probably
this.
gotta explain that a
Okay,
little.
so the reason why we kept so pretty much like all of the people that Jack and I just like love, we nominate them to this thing called the God Wall.
The God Wall.
And so the God Wall is going to be this wall in our place that we're gonna print out a whole bunch of pictures of these people, and then hang them up, and it's just gonna be of just all of these people that we just
Fucking
deeply
love.
admire.
Yeah.
So
Who's
we got
on the God Wall as of yet?
who's on the God Wall as of right now?
We got Dave
have
Filoni,
Dave
George
Filoni,
Lucas,
George Lucas,
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang,
Chadwick.
Boseman. There are more. There are more. What else? Oh wait, shit. Oh fuck, what's his name?
He's going on the God Wall. You don't even remember his name.
No, I don't remember his name because he's it's the guy in the fucking the 444 TikTok.
I'm Will Johnson.
Whatever his name is, yeah.
And I pray that
When I get there, they have my 444.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's such a great that is the best TikTok ever made.
Oh, it really is.
Spoken like somebody who's never been on TikTok. It's an incredible TikTok, but
What do you mean?
to claim that it's the best is a bold claim.
Both of you motherfuckers like live on TikTok. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
like,
on,
yeah.
I kind of use TikTok. Like, I'm.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok every day. What are you
I'm an
talking about?
artist, so I go on there for inspo.
I go on there to watch like. I don't know.
Shit to make you XD.
No, it's just kind of like when I'm bored on the toilet. Like that's, that's kind of when I watch TikToks. Like, other than
Can we get
that,
Subway for dinner?
what?
Can we get Subway for dinner?
Can we get Subway? I can't eat Subway. I have celiac disease. No, like actually,
Celiac disease.
Can I get Subway?
you can get as much Subway as you fucking want.
Can
Yeah,
you- I don't know where it is.
you don't know where. Well, I don't know where it is either. I don't know.
It's on the way to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it's on Cecil.
Oh, yeah,
just
that's
walk
right.
down
I forgot-
Cecil and then you'll just hit it.
Dude, it's if I can't eat at the place, I like don't bother remembering where it is. I know there's a Subway on Cecil.
And we're back. Just had some more technical difficulties there. The audio cut out. So where were we?
Talking about Subway, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about Subway.
Yeah.
And like, dude, you're gonna get there, and there's gonna be like,
They're gonna be like, "Oh, we're out of the gluten-free buns because
I
no
can
one
call.
ever fucking." You call if you want. I don't know. I might just eat some of that Chinese food. You can get Subway if you want. Hold on.
It's sick.
But yeah, this was episode 5. We'll be coming back at you soon. Jack, I will let you drop the social media handles because I should know them by now because it's the 5th episode.
It's literally
However-
just the name of the podcast. It's just Good Morning Vibe City. Do you know the name of the podcast that you have now done 5 episodes of? Herb.
Yes, Jack, I know the name of the goddamn podcast.
Okay, well that's what the social
named.
media handles
that
are.
I named.
IG, bro. IG is Good Morning Vibe City. Twitter, Good Morning Vibe City. YouTube, Good Morning Vibe City. Motherfucker, I swear to God.
I'm sorry that I don't, dude. I'm sorry. I don't remember the social media handles because I don't remember if it's either just Good Morning Vibe City or if it's Good Morning Vibe City podcast or if it's some other fucking variation of that shit.
Well, it's Good Morning Vibe City on Twitter and Instagram. And I don't think I'm gonna make a Facebook. Fuck Facebook.
dude, wait a minute. All right, we're gonna delay ending the episode real quick to talk about Facebook. Fuck Facebook, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg. That's another motherfucker that just has way too much money.
Value added tax is coming for you, Broham.
Hey, bro, hair, you about to get taxed. Well, don't they have like an antitrust lawsuit going on right
I
now?
don't give a fuck, bro. Fuck Facebook.
Fuck Facebook, yeah.
You know, we have to use Instagram and shit all the time, but like whatever. I don't care. Fuck Facebook.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just conclude it there.
We'll talk about more about Mark Zuckerberg later. I haven't even thought about Mark Zuckerberg, so like, we'll talk about that in another podcast. We'll talk about that. We gonna do like we did a conspiracy podcast that's gonna be coming at you. So, I'm sure there's some Zuckerberg shit.
Some Zuckerberg shit on there. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great day. And
what time we at? What time
are we at? We are at an hour 6. So
6.
yeah, yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
You know, just it's gonna be as long as it has to be.
Yeah.
So y'all have a great day.
Peace.
Peace out.